Hello and welcome back to the Mind and Money podcast. I'm Sherry, a financial coach.
And I'm Val, a financial planner. And today we are talking about business growth and the fact that it looks different for everyone. So what does business growth look like for you? And it might also look different. Like for myself, when I worked at the bank, they had very different metrics. And when I even started with the companies that I was more so tied to, they had metrics as well that they wanted you to meet. So Sherry, your background too, your metrics would have been life-threatening, but not actually, but I'm sure they sometimes felt like it.
Well, before I got fired, the manufacturing plant didn't have, from what I understand from people that still work there, they've leaned really heavy into tracking things and they were starting to do that.
Things like downtime.
Yeah. Yep. Downtime and
production,
throughput, cases per hour. Definitely something that's very important from a manufacturing perspective, but also as small business owners. And I don't really like that term because anyways, that's maybe a podcast for another day. But as somebody who, I'm not connected to anybody, it's just me in my business. And I've shifted over the years about what business growth looks like for me and what things I was working towards and striving to achieve. And there were periods when I thought, okay, I want to have another coach. I want to have an admin person. I want to have a VA. I want to have somebody who's in my inbox first thing in the morning and they're making sure that I'm not doing quote unquote low value tasks that aren't generating revenue.
You saw more of a team at some point was your measurement of success. That's at one point.
Well, I think that probably was connected to specific income goals and metrics. And that was what I saw as success is a growing business where you're having more people come in and it's not just you. And not that I didn't have people that could have come in and done that, but I worked with a couple of virtual assistants and throughout just kind of sporadically in my business to do specific tasks. And it's really helped to identify for me is that, okay, I have a hard time letting go. But as an entrepreneur with ADHD, I also change how I do things week to week, month to month, and look for more efficient ways to do them and look for different ways to add automations to reduce the admin part of things. And all of those things, along with, I don't want to put together standard operating procedures so that somebody can come in and just know exactly what to do. Because even when I had those things in place, it was still okay, you're supposed to do this, this, this. And by you, I mean virtual assistant and admin person. It's did they do that? And if they did they do it? And it's this is so fucking irrational. Did they do it to my standards?
It's not irrational though, because your business is you. So I totally get that. So you're
well, I do think it's a little bit irrational because my standards some days are so low in the areas of my business that aren't as impactful. Client work, shit for clients. That wasn't something I was ever prepared to let go. But some of the marketing things and just sometimes there's just going to phone this in this time. So that's why I say it's a little bit irrational sometimes.
So measurements of success, you have gone through and seen how that has changed for you over the years as a business owner. What would you say today, how do you measure your success in business?
So I do still have metrics like income that I'm going to get better at tracking for 2026. But for me, the one thing that I'm looking at is I've got boundaries around how many clients I can start with per month. And I have the key thing that I'm focused on to not burn myself the fuck out in my business is how many client coaching hours do I have the capacity to deliver to my clients at a really high level each month? And that's something that, I say I'm really not good at tracking things. That's something that I do track pretty consistently.
Does that metric come from a time when you were burning yourself out?
No, I never got to that point.
So you did not get to the point of burnout and then say, oh crap, I need these boundaries.
Right.
Well, I feel like though in your corporate career, manufacturing career,
chronic burnout.
your nervous system was
she was fried,
living on a prayer.
She was in a frying pan on high constantly,
just burnt to the bottom.
But that current metric of how many coaching hours per month is kind of based on a couple of days where I'm whew, that was a busy day or a week
Mhm.
that I felt like that. And then I take a step back and look at, okay, how many client coaching sessions did I have that week or that day? And that's helped me to fine tune my days and weeks, but also my months, because my client scheduler, which I love her, it allows me to set up what are the maximum number of hours per day. I don't think it allows me per week, but the per week part is based on the days that I have available and the hours that I have maximum that I'll have coaching sessions that allow people to book per day. So it's my focus has really shifted to no, this is just going to be me.
Yeah.
What's my capacity and what does that look like as far as business structure and coaching? And I keep going back and forth to think about, like, is group coaching something I want to have in there? I love the one-on-one, but the group coaching aspect of it is for me, I can help more people and I can help people at a lower price point. So it's more accessible. But I don't want like a weekly blog, a weekly podcast, content on social media that people can take. So it's for me, I'm like, I don't know, on the fence. Random thoughts from Sherry.
I love them. I love them. So, yes, income is still a thing for you. But what's interesting is, and what I'm hearing is that you became more focused on protecting your energy. So, when you were showing up with clients, you were able to be your best version of yourself. So, they're connecting with, and I'm sure that there's days that it's not always like that, probably due to outside factors, not to do with scheduling. It could be our cycle, it could be personal things. Who knows? It could be because you couldn't get the compressor piece to go into the compressor hose and your tire was flat. You were going to lose it. But
Disappointed. And this is, well, it's kind of related, but there have been times too when I've woken up in the morning and like I've just felt like today wasn't my day. I wasn't on the ball.
Yes.
I wasn't going to show up 100% for coaching sessions. And on those days, I've reached out to clients and said, like, I'm fine. I'm feeling a little off. We can still meet, but if you're open to reschedule,
yeah,
I'd be down for that too. And generally they're like, oh yeah, you do what you need to do today.
And I think
schedule.
That is knowing you're working with your ideal clients, which is a podcast episode to come. So continue to listen. So I will steal the mic for a second and say, I went through, like, the bank, you had a report card and it was sales focused, and I can remember they would read the report card in front of everyone. Yeah.
So toxic.
So there was like the shame element. I was always at the bottom. Always, always, always. And I have no shame in that. In the moment, it felt crappy because you weren't rewarded for that or praised. But it was sales focused. It was, if there was pop-ups, did you get them to accept it? Did you get them booked in? It was very, can you push product successfully? Good work. Oh, good work every month. Here, how many stars did you get? Oh, good work. Oh, good work. So I left that, went independent. And even through all of my mentors and coaching in the early years, it was very much so pushing, again, still sales focused, doing the math on how much you'd make on a life insurance policy. And I still to this day cannot do that math, and I don't care. I do not care. So one of the mentors, he said to me about 2 years in, he's like, I've noticed something about you. And I was like, go on.
Like, here we go.
Yeah. And he's like, if you don't want to do something, you won't do it. And I was like, it was like referring to the sales aspect when if it didn't feel aligned with me, I wouldn't do it. And he was the one that wanted you to practice your script. He wanted you to make a video of you doing your script and rewatch it. He was one of the better ones. I also had ones. Anyways, I could go all day.
It's just, and I think that's one of the big things that's wrong with so many financial professionals is that they're following those toxic metrics to push things on their clients, whether they're a good fit or not, to get their check mark, to get their good report card. And it's got so many people leery of, well, I don't want to work with somebody.
Right, because you'll sell me something.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
In my like friction points of being like, this isn't right for me. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't fit in. I don't follow the checklists. I feel uncomfortable presenting things in the way that they want me to present them. But I just had to pivot, and I just had to ensure that I was doing what I felt was best for the clients and educating them, empowering them, and also putting myself in their shoes and going, would I want this? Would this make sense for me? And that has been pivotal. I'll say things like to the young client, we're working on the first home savings account. And I said, we're looking at getting a mortgage. You guys are young and healthy now. If I were you, I would get life insurance. This is why. I'm not going to force it. That's not why we've connected, but I think it's really important. And so just using truly from the center of my soul, saying, what would I want?
Yeah.
What do I wish I would have done? Versus you need
Here's
to have
a
this
insurance policy. It's
yes
value. Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, we could go deep on that. So for years I spent really like rubbing up against the metrics that were set and being like, that does not feel good for me. And then going towards metrics that did feel good to me. So looking at how many families am I helping? Did we save them money? Are we working towards their goals? Just changing what you're putting into it and releasing the outcomes that don't align with you.
Yeah. And like focusing on what you want your life to look like and then looking at how your business can support that. And I will be the first one to fucking cheer you on if you're like, yes, I have this business. I want to grow. I want to have 10 staff, 100 staff, 1,000. Like that is amazing. And if that is like, go get it. And I used to feel, I don't know if imposter syndrome, but I used to feel like, oh, do I really want to share that I don't want those things?
Oh, interesting.
But I want my business to support the slower life that I want to lead. I can achieve that like financially and from like a balance perspective with it just being me. So then, you send me an email. It's me you're hearing back from, not somebody pretending to be me or an admin person. I love the personal touch of it.
Right. But where someone who is looking to build that team, that's not their measurement of success. So it's them being okay, not judging that, and you being okay, embracing it and proudly being like, no, this fits me. So when you are looking at your goals and your business measures and success, truly block out the noise. Get very clear and comfortable with what is important to you and why. And if something comes up that you're like, oh, this is like sitting with me, like, oh, I need to make 6 figures. Number one, do you need to make 6 figures?
Look at your numbers.
Look at your numbers. Number two, is that belief something that's stuck on you from someone else? And does it actually fit for you? Or did it just happen to be like, do you need to just roll it off? Roll it off. Choose a different fuzzy to focus on.
If you want to make 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures, that is fucking amazing. But if you're putting pressure on yourself to hit a certain metric in your business because that's what you think you should be pursuing to be quote unquote successful, then maybe just take a step back and evaluate it and really thinking, what do you want your days to look like, your weeks, your months to look like? And yeah, for me, it's slow.
And it's interesting because this is also work I've had to do. There's a gross feeling that comes up when a goal doesn't align with me, similar to the metrics that like the bank and my early mentors put in place. But then setting a goal that is large also brings up a gross feeling. So it's different. Like,
even if it's a goal that you believe in.
Yes, but it's differentiating and tuning in to be like, do I feel nearsighted because it's a big goal, but it is in alignment? Or do I feel grossed out because this isn't actually for me? So they're not necessarily the same feeling, but previous Val would have kind of put them in the same bucket and been like, right? So taking time, slowing down, feeling the feelings.
Yeah. Is a goal out of alignment or is it just feel scary, challenging? So like, what does business growth look like for Val?
It'll probably change if we talk about this in 12 months, but this has changed over the years for sure. Vision has always been connected to a web of like-minded experts. I've loved that, and I have continued to build that web. And when it comes to my business, I've always been put the work in, trust where the money will flow, and that's always happened. I love working with more ideal clients. This year I had a client where I wasn't fast enough for her, and my life has been going through a transition period, and she went to a different financial planner, and it felt like, yes, there was like a small grief, and I was like, no, I sent her a message. I said, I wish you well.
Godspeed.
Yes. And when the transfer came in for her investments to move, because they always send I think that they send you an email to be like, you can try to recover this. And I'm like, no, thank you so much.
I'm letting this go.
Please continue. And it's those clients where you're like, like that was a measure of success, because I'll say Val in early business years probably would have lost sleep, would have been anxious, would have been overcompensating to try and prove that I was enough and I was the right fit, and clinging, right? Like scarcity, realizing that she would have taken up. Now I'm like, she would have needed more than I could give. And if there's someone else that she's better aligned with, amazing. So it's that well wishes. And there was a client that every time we met, I'm like, I just can't connect. I couldn't connect. And I was with them for a number of years, and then they did transfer out. And when I saw the transfers out, I was like, oh, damn, because I couldn't crack the shell, but it was also like, good. I sent that message to them and I said, it has been great working with you guys. I hope you found someone that connects better, right? Because and there was so many ways, right? We both had kids. They got a dog, and I like there was just, of course, more things than that. But I was like trying to pick up these pieces and be like, we should connect. But it was just different energy styles, and those are measures of success. How do I handle stressors? How do I handle the client that I maybe don't love the most calling me? How do I handle the inbox getting fuller? So it's more gauging how I say goodbye to things and how I say hello to things and how I'm keeping up with things.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you here. I love all of those things. Of more ideal clients, that's amazing. So you seem very like resistant to tracking like actual things that you could track. And I just wonder,
why?
Like, it is okay for you to want to make money and actually at the same time, like, want to help a certain number of families that are ideal clients.
And like, I would say once or twice a year, I do look at income that's come in.
It's kind of like, I get the sense that there's like some bad juju around tracking the dollars.
There's definitely a bit of resistance. And then another way that head office would also like you to track is AUM, so assets under management. So how much are you managing? Yep. Are you taking care of? And last year I was pretty good at checking it monthly, but then also market fluctuations change that. Clients that are in retirement, drawing down investments change that. So I would check in, but it wasn't the one that fulfilled me the most. Yeah. So it was like, okay, cool. It would be like in a health journey. Let's say I was really big on paying attention to the scale, and now and then I took my measurements, but I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I know that's just an example.
No, I totally get that. But it's like, it's just sit with it's okay to want to make money doing what you enjoy. And that's something for so many entrepreneurs that are doing something that they genuinely love and care about and are passionate about. That sometimes brings up that resistance to, oh, well, I can't earn this much. I can't charge this much.
I do probably need to do some work around it, because I know I still do. And for a lot of years, I did a lot of pro bono work because I do love what I do. Yeah. But then when it came down to, hey, we didn't do anything together that compensated me, I should invoice them. Yeah. And then time went on.
Yeah. It's challenging, because when it's something you love to do, and we kind of have things set up differently, because if somebody comes to you, there's a multitude of different paths they could take. Maybe you're going to help them with life insurance. Maybe you're going to help them with investments. Maybe they're going to move investments to you. Yeah. So there's different ways that
it's a very pick your own adventure versus get on the ride. This is your ticket. Yep. That was the cost. This is my hourly rate.
So if somebody comes to you and says, I think that I need life insurance, and then you help them look at things and you're like, dude, like for some reason you can't get life insurance, or we can't find a solution that fits in your
so it's
interesting.
It's yours to create. Doesn't come without challenges. I had a couple people lately, they're like, it's so nice that you're your own boss and it's so nice you have a flexible schedule. I'm like, I do not take what I do for granted one day. I love what I do. I'm so grateful for it, but it does not come without stressors. Yeah. So I'm like, yes, and.
Do you know how much paperwork I have to do? That's definitely one of the things that every time Val and I talk about the differences in some of the things we do is like, Val's got these regulations. She's got paperwork she's got to sign. And like, I have contracts that my clients fill out, but I don't have a regulatory body that says you have to do A, B, and C, and you can't do 1, 2, 3. You can call yourself a life coach, a financial coach, a health coach.
I will also bring the history on financial planning and financial advisors, because that was pretty loosey-goosey until more recently. Well, that's
the fact that you can hang a shingle and call yourself a financial coach, and so many people in that realm are going over the line and giving investment advice, and it's like all of the red flags. So just sum it up. You can have a business and you cannot want it to be growing at an exponentially faster rate than, like, you can want to stay where you are and only manage X number of clients or sell X number of products. And that's okay.
And if a metric comes up that feels good for you to use to measure, or a goal, stick with it. Lean in. Don't be afraid or ashamed of it. It's right for you.
And also, if a metric comes up for you that you feel a lot of resistance, even though you know logically it makes really good sense for you to track it, maybe dig into that a little more. And yeah, figuring out where you want to be in a year, 5 years, and think, how does the business support that? How does the business support your life? Not the other way around, because we're humans first, we're people first. And yes, we need income and we need to be able to pay our bills, but we also want to be in a position where we're not burnt the fuck out. So we are glad you've been here, and we hope you are not working towards burnout, and we hope we'll see you next time on the Mind and Money podcast.